Without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage Gideon Benson.
Thank you very much for having me. I don't actually remember coming to my graduation, so this is kind of nice to be at one. Thank you to Kerry and to the TAFE for inviting me to speak. I'm usually have a guitar around me and I don't do much of the speaking, or I sing on command, so this is sort of new for me. Yeah, I guess I can only really talk from my experience coming out of the TAFE, taking what I learned while studying and then putting it into practice in the real world, the music industry. I came here as a student to learn music business. I actually went to AIM first, and then one of the lecturers at the time told me, you can do the same course over here for a third of the price. So I came over here and did the course. It taught me a lot about basically sort of contracts and all those sorts of things, and what to look for when working in the industry. So yeah, I'll start quickly. So I'm a member of a band called the Preatures, which we've been a band for some 6 years now. We were a terrible band to start with, but you know, as all bands are, when they start, you are pretty bad, and you've just got to work at it. It takes time to figure out what sort of music you want to make and what kind of artist you want to be. Enjoy that time. Don't try and rush that. If I can give you any advice, you're forever learning that. So whether you're making music in your bedroom or you're wanting to sort of be a performer and on stage, learn your craft and enjoy that period. Don't be in a hurry to sort of get to the end of it. That would probably be something that I would suggest and nurture that time. Finding your voice is really important in this industry, and finding a point of difference. What separates you from other bands or other people wanting to do the same thing and work in the same field? Labels these days, whether it's a major or an indie, are looking for different things for their rosters. They might want to find, majors might go, oh, we'd love another pop star or another young pop star. So they'll go out and they'll source that. Independent record labels operate a bit differently, and then some people, you've got labels like Spinning Top or management companies in Perth that have Tame Impala and Pond, which are they do their own thing, and Future Classics, which has Flume, which has built themselves around dance music and that culture, and that's what they're about, and that's what they do. So it's kind of important to sort of look at what you're doing and maybe go, well, who do we want to be a part of? What kind of band do we want to be? Who do we want to associate ourselves with? What sort of bands do we want to tour with? All these kind of things are really important in finding your way as a band and a performer, as well as a producer. If you want to be a producer who produces music, where do I want to place myself? What kind of bands do I want to produce, or what sort of artists do I want to produce? Or if you want to sign a band, what sort of bands do I want to sign? What kind of world do I want to be a part of? Each of these sort of different subcategories has their own world that goes with it. So that was one aspect that the band faced early on. We sort of decided that we'd be, after a while, instead of being a swamp rock band, we decided we wanted to see what we could do with writing pop music for a change. And we wrote a track called Take a Card, which is sort of, we did it as an experiment to see what would happen. A friend of ours told us, your best bet is to put it on Unearthed on a Tuesday night, because Triple J have a meeting on a Wednesday morning, and when it comes up, it'll be at the top of the pile. So I followed that friend's advice, and I was like, I'll try that. So I put it on, and they picked it up the next day, and we got added. But that's not right for every band. Not every band is going to want to be that sort of band. I think what was important about it was the fact that we did that with purpose and integrity. Whatever you do in this industry has to be done with that purpose and integrity. People these days can see right through that. If you're not genuine about what you're doing or you don't believe in it, they're not going to believe in it. So look to that whenever you're sort of writing something. Can I perform this? Can I carry this out? Can I front this and make this believable? Because half the battle is to make it believable. I guess the next hurdle we faced was after we had a bit of sort of radio play, managers come knocking on your door. People who sort of don't know you from a bar of soap and they want to sign you. And it's about navigating through this sort of period in time as to whether, you know, what sort of manager do I want? Who do I want representing us as a band? You sort of have to look at it in the sense that what sort of track record has that person had? What sort of success? Or are they new? Are they coming up like us? Are we going to rise up together? Are we going to sort of tackle this all together? Or are they going to guide us? For us, it was a case that we had someone who sort of took us and guided us a bit, which is great. But I feel as an artist or as in a band, sitting on that side of the fence, if you're wanting to be a manager, the best thing you can do as a manager is, what we've learned, is to listen to your band, listen to your artist. If they're telling you they don't want to do something, they shouldn't do it, and you shouldn't force them to do it because you think it's best. There's always another way of doing things, and you can always work things out. A lot of people, when you hear of bands and splitting up or splitting up with management, when you go out and work in there, you know, people start circulating rumours and things like that. Avoidance of that happening is, and building connections is just communicating with other people. Talking things out is a real vital step in building that relationship between yourself and the people around you. So yeah, listening is a big thing. So yeah, compromise is another thing. Be prepared to compromise. Can't always go into situations in a business environment and really headstrong and think that you're going to come out with what you're wanting all the time. Doesn't always work like that, unfortunately. So you do have to go into situations, I've learned this, going with an expectation of what you're prepared to come out with. And I say that in the sense that you may go in and push and say, no, we're not going to do this. But the person on the other end is going to go, well, in order for you to do what you want to do, you've got to do this. And unfortunately, the nature of the music industry these days is that if you want to be lucrative and you want to sort of make some money, because, you know, unfortunately it's not what it used to be in the 80s where people had stacks of cash. Musicians these days are making money by playing, by touring. If you're a producer, you're making money by doing remixes or producing with big acts. So often you're going to have to play gigs that you don't necessarily want to play. But you know that you're playing those gigs, so as in your downtime, you've got some cash in the kitty. And then that goes also for people wanting to do remixes for your tracks. You might not like that, but you've got to look at things in a big picture and see, well, what are we getting out of this by doing this one thing in order to be able to do this in the big scheme of things. But yeah, again, it really depends on who you associate yourself with and what sort of band you want to be. If you're wanting to be a pop band, then you have to expect that you've got to take that pop road. If you're wanting to be King Gizzard and the Lizard, you can do your own thing. You know, you can be a 7-piece band that tours around and has your loyal following, and you're happy with that. And it just depends on really, and I say this, it depends which side of the fence you want to sit on, commerce or art. And I use that because, unfortunately, you know, these days brands are wanting to align themselves with bands, and some bands are saying, no, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. Like, this is not what it's about. But these days, that's kind of the way things are moving, and it's no longer a bad stigma to associate yourself with a brand or anything like that. So I came out of this course saying to myself, no, I don't want to do that. I'm never going to do that. And then I realized when I got into the real world that I had to in order to grow and develop and for my stuff to get out there. And if this is not for you and you want to take another road and feel like you're on a warpath to sort of do things your own way, then do it. Because that's the main things. If you believe in it and people see that, success will come in whatever sort of value that is, whether that's monetary or you get your kick out of it, whatever that is. So just do whatever you're going to do with integrity, and people will see that and they'll support you on that. Because in this climate, people are supporting each other more than ever. So it's great. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gideon, for that. That was fantastic.